Okay, today we're going to create a custom event log on a server that can be accessed from all the computers in the domain as long as the users have access to the file share. So the setup audit log, this would be the first file that you'll have to run. So scroll down to server name and select the server that you want to install it on. What's the event log name? What do you want to name it? For this, I'm just calling it maintenance. And we need a default source to add to our list. So the sources I want to capture here are patching, antivirus, configuration change, etc. Modify the list, how you see fit. And really, those are the only changes we need to make in this file. So again, server name, log name, source, and configure your master list. I could jump ahead to a command prompt. Let's make sure it's saved. And I want to go ahead and execute. So it's saying it don't exist. It created it. Great. Not a lot we can see in it at the moment. I'm going to go ahead and run it one time just so I can get an event in there. And you can see all of our options are currently in there. So I'm just going to throw a note in here. I patched all the computers in the domain. Hit enter. Boom, done. So I'll show you a few little tips and tricks to it. The nice thing is, looking at the list, is that let's say I forgot something like auditing. How many times do you look at, somebody's maintenance log, can't read their writing? What did they do? I know for myself, I'd rather type it. So I'm just going to go ahead and add auditing into our list, and I want to save it. Oops, save. And I can do it from the command prompt, or I could just, from here, F5, and it's running, and you can see now auditing is in our list. But we need to make another change. So I want to jump and run it, and notice it's not in our list yet, right? But we clearly see that it's over here. So what we have to do is come in and modify our actual event maintenance file. Now this file, again, very similar. Come in, set up your server name, your maintenance. This is the file that we ran from the command prompt. So once these two are set up, is what I'm going to have to do is come down here, and I'm just going to do, oops, go back down there. I'm just going to come in, do a quick copy, paste, auditing. So anytime you add or modify anything from the setup, you have to come into the event maintenance, and this will add it to that list that we've seen. And the last thing we want to do is come down and create an event ID for it. So I'll just come right to the end. We're going to call this 7010 and auditing. And I'll save it. So now if I come out here and execute, I can see now auditing is in my list. And I can come in, say I audited this computer, right? Well, did I spell everything equal? So it's nice note right there. See, it's spelled different. Typo. So let's try it again. Auditing. Cannot type today. It's always that way, right? Always that way when people are watching. Okay, so we have a few events in there. So I just created this little script. You can see it's going to the server. I want to pull the maintenance log, and I'm just going to execute it from here. So now we can see I audited this computer, and I patched all the computers in this domain. So great, now I can see it all. And we'll actually jump into the server. So that you'll be able to also see the logs here. Now, it creates it. Notice it's under applications and services. It is not under the Windows default logs. So I'll just come in, hit the refresh, I can hit maintenance, and there's my two events. The one thing I did is embed whoever the username is and what computer they executed it from in the actual event. But then you can see the text that we added in the box. So again, to give us a little bit of data integrity. So the other thing I just wanted to point out, so if I come in and F5, you can see it's all the values are stored in the registry. So when I'm pulling the list to see what's there and comparing, this is where it's coming from. So showed you that, boom. So we'll go ahead and minimize, and I want to minimize again. And actually, let's go back into the server for a moment. So you can see I created a shortcut on my desktop here. This one is actually mapped to T audit log, and this was the run event that I talked about. This way it just launches PowerShell, does the bypass, no logo, interactive, and it will launch the event maintenance file. Again, just to make it more efficient. But with the shortcut on the desktop, and I'm on the server, I can actually run it. Configuration change, created, new, maintenance. Wow. Create a new maintenance log. Hit OK. Now I should be able to just flip in, F5, and now we see the configuration change, create a new maintenance log. So the last thing, I'm not going to say last, but next to the last, here's also another computer. And this one, if you notice, I'll right click properties again. This one is actually set up as an UNC path, but everything's pointing to the same files. So again, I'll double click run, come down, disabled a user, hit OK. So now from any computer, I'm able to access or insert some pretty nifty events. Now, the next piece I want to show you is, let's say, so we showed how to add. You just create a new source, but make sure you go into events and add it in the two spots. If, for some strange reason, you want to get rid of it, the easiest way would just be to uncomment that, and this will remove the log and all of the sources. So I will hit F8 here. I want to flip back to the server. I want to refresh. And now my maintenance log is gone. And if I come in, refresh in here, F5, my maintenance log, all of the sources gone as well. So be careful with that one. But if you make some errors, when you're setting it up, it's just an easy way to kind of go back, start at ground zero. So I want to jump in. I want to go ahead and run it. So now I created it. I do want that other. So I'm just going to F5 it again. And now I have audit in, have other. So my configuration is the same as it is over here. So have fun. Comments, feedback, like, subscribe. How can we make it better? Thank you.